Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream. I'm Leslie Klein, and I'm coming to you every week live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursdays. And if you can't catch me live here, I just want to know that you can find the replays on the Good Vibes TV YouTube channel, which is under the handle at Raise Your Vibe, excuse me, at Raise Your Vibe and Thrive, just like you can see it on the screen. And it's under the playlist of podcasts. So you can watch all of these episodes. And my intention, my commitment to you is to do this live stream every week because I'm always learning. And, when you learn stuff, you naturally integrate it by teaching other people. It's just a natural thing. You're gathering information, you're digesting it, you're making sense of it, you're coming to conclusions, and then you're sharing it with other people. At least for me, this is a natural thing to do. So, so this live stream is an excellent opportunity for me to share the things that I'm learning, and I'm always learning something. Have you guys heard of the bank code, BANK? It's a I guess a personality type assessment, and it tells you like what your strengths are. So anyway, the point of this is that my first attribute or whatever, I'm dominant in the area of knowledge. So knowledge is an important motivator to me, to get not to gain knowledge, to learn. This is just who I am. So this live stream is an excellent place for me to share this information. When I had my store, when I had my cafe, and as I learned things, I would share it with my customers. But my only the way the world is in my life now, the only the main person that I'm around is my husband, and he could give a rat's you know what about any of this stuff. So you're my people. He's not my people, unfortunately. He's my people in some areas, but as far as good vibes are concerned, or as far as metaphysical things, spirituality, things like this, it's not his cup of tea, but it's such so my cup of tea. And I don't know. I'm just excited to be here because I have a lot to share. So this live stream does not replace my Good Vibes TV show, which is more of a formal show where I interview different experts about ways to raise their vibration. So you can watch those by going to my website. It'll list there how to watch the the show. And the every Sunday at noon is when I'm releasing or premiering a new episode. So this last Sunday, Teresa Cundiff with Teresa Talks, she also has a talk show. I feature her on there, and I'm wondering, did any of you guys watch it, and what did you think? So, I streamed this to like 8 different places, from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube and even LinkedIn. So, you can actually comment in whatever place that you're watching, and I'll see those comments and we can have a conversation. So play with me today. I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you get some value out of this live stream. So this live stream is all about good vibes. And if you've watched any other live streams, I'm kind of talking about the map of consciousness that Dr. David R. Hawkins talks about. I'm talking about Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale, where there's a zone at the top that I'm calling the good vibe zone. It's the zone of emotions that are more positive and higher, on Dr. Hawkins' scale, from 0 to 200. That's where like 70% of people are vibing at, or they're living at. That's their home base as far as emotions. Above that is where really we strive to be, because that's where we thrive. And so I'm all about the good vibes lifestyle, which I'm coining. And I'm wanting to create a movement to encourage you to share information and hopefully inspire you to use this information to improve your life so that you can live in the good vibes lifestyle. And when you do that, when you are vibing, wherever you're vibing, you're attracting like things to you, right? So if you're vibing low, you're going to attract low vibing things and create a low vibing life. If you're vibrating higher, you're going to attract higher vibrating things. So that's the whole concept behind this. And um, there's so many ways to do this. That's why I'm calling it a lifestyle. This is not something that you're one and done. This is a lifestyle. And, the more that you can live in the good vibe zone, the better quality life you're going to live. The more you're going to accomplish, the more you're going to be happy. It's just so important. So, all right. And Bridget, she says, "You're my cup of tea." She's saying that because my father used to say, and with Father's Day just being this past Sunday, he used to say, "It's not my cup of tea." So she's being funny, but anyway, yes, but so like not everybody's, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay because we're meant to be different. That's the beauty of life. There's so many different people and things and aspects, and there's just such abundance, right, of different experiences, lifestyles, and people, and that's what makes life worth living, to learn about all these things. um, One thing I did want to let you know that I've been going to this or attending this Rewire Your Brain Summit. It's happening right now. And I got introduced to this Dr. Ken Vu, and he had a little um, um, comment, quote that I want to share with you. He said, "How we live our life is actually our medicine." So that is so in line with the good vibes lifestyle, because how we live our life, the choices we make in our life, is our medicine. And I just really loved what he had to share. And I'll probably in another episode comment more about this. But he wrote a book called Thrive, and he talks about 7 different areas that are contribute that add up to a thriving state in your life. One of the first things that's so important is sleep, getting enough sleep, because that's when your body repairs itself. Plus, that's also where your mind and your brain is reprocessing things and making sense of all the data that it collected during the day. The second one is nutrition. So important what we eat, right? Especially with all these frankenfoods around. I mean, seriously, it's time to start growing our food in the garden and going plant based. Third is movement. Movement. It doesn't have to be, a set, type of exercise, but just movement, dance, biking, walking, pickleball, whatever. Movement, as long as you're moving your body, because the sedentary lifestyle in front of the computer is not good for our bodies. We are meant to move. All right, so that's one, two, three. Fourth thing were thoughts. What we're thinking. What are we focusing on with our brain? Are we, there's some people that are just ruminate over and worry and catastrophize about the worst case scenario, and that's where their brain's going. Well, if you're thinking those kind of thoughts, hello, what kind of what are you attracting into your life? So, our thoughts, we have to grab control of them, and we can do it. It is a mental discipline, but it can be done. All right, so one, two, three, four. Fifth thing was emotions, because we know that thoughts lead to emotions, which leads to action. So our emotions are so important, lower vibing emotions versus higher vibing. And again, the way we know where we're vibrating, one of the ways is by our emotions. What are we feeling? How are we feeling? And that's how you can tell how you're vibrating on the scale. Another number 6 is social setting, social community, being around other people. We're human creatures and we need to be around other people. And the last one was purpose, that we have a life purpose, and a sense of purpose. And he was saying, because he's a longevity doctor, that having a sense of purpose extends your life an average of 7 years. So you'll live 7 years longer on the average if you have a sense of purpose. And a lot of times people, when they retire, they lose that sense of purpose. And that's why um, later years in life can be, you just kind of dwindle down or whatever. And it's so important to have a sense of purpose. I can tell you that. Being quote retired, um, even though I don't see myself retired because I have a sense of purpose. My purpose, your purpose is change, right? And so we're adjusting. So one big change for me that's coming up is I'm turning 60 this year. Can you believe it? I hopefully do not look 60. Not 60 yet, but in October I'll be 60. So aging and longevity and quality of life things are very important to me. And my premise is that living a good vibes lifestyle is going to get me that longevity. And so I'm finding different things that support that, that are that align with that. So those are some things that I wanted to share from Dr. Wu, and that's from his book, The Thrive State, and from this Rewiring the Brain Summit, which you can find. It's online. Just Google it, or if you want to know more of that, just direct message me, and I'll send you the link. All right. So one of the things I like to do in our Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream is talk about the astrological, what's going on celestially. Last week we're talking about last 2 weeks we've been talking about UFOs, Dr. Stephen Greer. So I'm I'm challenging you to step out of this box of, we're humans on this planet and our civilization and that's it. Expand your mind to consider that we're just humanity is just one species in a vast universe, right? And that's kind of what Dr. Greer is talking about. We're on this verge, or not of it being fully exposed, but we can communicate with these CTs. He actually has a whole CE5 protocol and meditation that you could do. There are groups and stuff like that. I haven't done it myself. I did download the app, but we're going to make that another episode as far as contacting UFOs. But my point is, open up your mind and change your worldview or expand your worldview to include beyond the globe, to include that there are beings and not just outside of off our planet, but also interdimensionally. There are many, we're multidimensional beings and we may not know it, but there are other versions of yourself in other dimensions. And again, that's a whole nother discussion. But what do you think about it? Please put it in the comments what you think. So, in this idea of expanded universe, we're not the only life, intelligent life in the universe. Um, but being aware of our celestial and astrological and yes, astronomy too, but I'm thinking more astrologically. It's important to know what the cycles of the earth are. And, summer solstice just happened yesterday. So we are entering into a new season. That's what the summer solstice does. It's the longest day of the year and the shortest night. And so now it kicks off, at least in the northern hemisphere. It's the opposite for the southern hemisphere. But in the northern hemisphere, this is the longest day was yesterday and the shortest night. So this is the time of summer. This is the time of growth and abundance and heart, and all of that. And then once fall comes, and that's a time more of the harvest. But it's important because we are natural beings on a natural planet. The earth is our mother nature the earth is our mother. We are beings. So being in cyclical harmony with the earth is so important. And that's one of the reasons I like to make note of when there's, the solstices and the equinox. So there's a summer solstice, and then the opposite of that is the winter solstice, where it's the shortest day and longest night, right? Um, just like you have a lunar cycle that starts with the new moon, then goes to the full moon, and then back to the new moon. The sun kind of has that cycle too. It's an annual cycle. So the the weakest point of or when the sun is the weakest would be the winter solstice, and it's like a full moon would be during the summer solstice. So this is like the full strength of the sun. So tune into the sun. Go out there, not necessarily worship the sun, but be out in the sun rays. Um, there's a thing called gazing, which my sister Bridget introduced me to, and that's where you're looking at the sunlight in the morning, the early time of the day, and also in the evening, and that helps set you're receiving certain rays that tell your body, that you're not sleeping anymore and it's time to wake up, and then same at night that it's time to go to sleep. So it's part of the natural cycle. So by doing solar gazing, it helps reset that. And that's really important. So, like I said, longest day of the year, so lots of energy. And we just had the new moon on this past Father's Day, which was on Sunday, a few days ago. We had our new moon in June. So we're in the new moon cycle, and the moon will keep growing and growing and growing till it gets to be the full moon on July 3rd. Not too long from now, it's going to be in the sign of Capricorn. So if you want to study or learn a little bit about astrology, look up the sign Capricorn. You'll understand um, a little bit about the quality of that full moon. And it's also a super full moon. Super full moons are when the moon is physically closer to the earth. So it looks a little bit bigger than usual. So you may have a little bit more impact. Um, the moon affects our moods. We're mostly water, up to 70% water. Just like the tides get influenced by the moon, so do we, because we're beings of water. So it's I find it helpful to follow the cycles so that I can coordinate my projects and the things I do during the cycles. So, for instance, if you're going to plant, now is the time to plant new seeds, start new projects, new beginnings. It's all about new beginnings. And then, as a full moon, that's like the fruition. That's the ultimate. And then it starts waning. So then it's like harvesting and winding it down. And then you start the cycle over again. So, if you know when the cycles are, you can be in tune with them as you live your life. So that's one of the reasons that I like to add or give you information about astrology, even though I am not an astrologist and or astrologer. And you don't have to be an astrologer to apply the information of astrology to your life. All right. So let's talk about last week's tip. Last week's tip was to take inspired action. And specifically, the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about Dr. Stephen Greer and his new movie coming out that's come out called The Lost Century. Uh, and you can learn more about Dr. Greer at his website, drstephengreer.com, or SiriusDisclosure.com. For people just listening, Sirius Disclosure is SiriusDisclosure.com. And Dr. Stephen Greer is DrSteven Greer, Greer.com. Last week I played back or recapped his 3-hour press conference about UFOs. And the big inspired action that I asked for you to take was to write your congresspeople and to write the White House and about going on with these hearings and disclosing the information about the UFO technologies that our government has access to, or it's kind of under a shadow government. So our legitimate government needs to take action to uncover all that and retrieve the lost technology that we haven't had for the last 100 years. This technology, free energy technology, that's based pretty much on what Tesla, um, the inventor Tesla, like 100 years ago, came up with. Electricity. I think his was, and I'm not going to say because I don't know whether it was AC or DC. I think it was AC, and then not Einstein, Edison came up with DC current. Well, DC current you could meter, and JP Morgan wanted to charge for it. Tesla wanted it free for everybody. The free energy technology takes energy from the quantum field, which is everywhere, right? And it would totally change our world. It would get rid of pollution and poverty in 10 to 20 years. And that's what Dr. Greer was saying. So this is like so important. And, we're American citizens. And yes, we put our people and we vote and we put our people in office. But once they're in office, we kind of have to be on them to do the right thing. and to focus on things that are very important. This is very important. So, what I did for please look at last week's episode in the description. I created a whole letter that you could just cut and paste and email to your congresspeople. And I also have the websites to find out who the congresspeople are and how to also go to the White House and email our president as well. So please, if you haven't already taken that smart action, please do. Watch last week's episode. Um, and if you did do it, could you let me know? Could you put it in the comments? Do it now or later on the replay. I would love to hear that you wrote your congresspeople. I've done community activism several times in my life on a low scale, local level, on a state level. And now this is kind of a national level. And this is just really important. So please rewatch last week's episode or at least get the description, take that inspired action, and let me know that you did because I want to know that we're making a difference, right? If we're not making a difference, what's the point? So last couple of weeks, we were talking about uh, UFOs. And now we're going to go from UFOs to mushrooms. I know you think it's kind of crazy, but it's all part of the good vibes lifestyle. So I've partnered with the Food Revolution Network. And I don't know if you know of them, but you probably have heard of Baskin Robbins, right? The 31 flavors of ice cream. Well, John Robbins, and you may or may not know this, but John Robbins, who was part of that empire, started learning about food, and he wrote a book about the new diet for new diet revolution. Was one that came out a long time ago. I did used to sell it in my bookstore, and it talks about basically transitioning to plant based foods and how by doing that and less meat and all the pollution that happens because of the cow industry and all of that. So his the point of it is that we could really change the world by what we eat, and we're going to change our health by that too. So the Food Revolution Network, they do a lot of different things, and what they have right now that I'm going to share with you is there's a movie called Fantastic Fungi, and it's all about mushrooms and this whole world of mushrooms. I just watched the movie, and there's a free screening, so I'm going to give you a link to where you can watch the movie for free. And he even has 20 recipes that use mushrooms, 20 mushroom recipes that you get for free, and you watch the movie for free. At the end, there is a little offer where you can get extensive resources for a very minimal price. So watch the movie, download the free recipes, and let me know what you think because our food is medicine. And, mushrooms are not plants, believe it or not, and they're not animals. They're like it's their own category of fungi. So they have very interesting attributes. And the movie covers all of it. It's about an hour and 12 minutes, so it's not a super long movie. But and because of this, that's why this week's tip is to learn how mushrooms raise your vibration. So eating mushrooms raises our frequency, our vibration or consciousness um, by eating them because they're a higher vibing energy. And you've seen, Western medicine doesn't cover it so much, but Chinese medicine, oh my gosh, lion's mane, what are some of the other ones? There's, let's say shiitake, but that's I think more for eating. Lion's mane, kaga. There's several mushroom strains that are used for medicine, and Chinese medicine have been using it for years. So we can bring homeostasis to our body by eating mushrooms. Mushrooms boost our immune system. They support our mind, our energy, our memory, our stamina, and it just lifts our vibration. So what I've done is here's the link to the actual movie. I did a tinyurl.com GVTV fungi. So I will put that in the description as well, so you can go to the link. When you put your email in there, you'll have access to the movie. You have 4 days to watch it, and then you also get to download, or they'll send you an email with 20 recipes for mushrooms. I just downloaded it myself today, so I will let you know if I was able to make anything. And I found I knew about the Food Revolution Network prior, and I think I signed up for some emails, but I did their Eat the Rainbow challenge earlier this month, and it was so good. So I've been because my goal is to go eat more plant-based, and it's really difficult because I live with a meat eater. So I'm making vegetables for me and having sometimes a little bit of meat, but he's more of the meat and potatoes kind of guy. But the more I learn about this stuff, food is medicine. And what we put in our bodies has a direct correlation to how healthy we are. So um, that's the link right there, to watch the movie and download the episodes. Now, I also have an Amazon store where I have curating books, topics, things, and um, different things like supplements, even. So, Paul Stamets is one of the mushroom specialists or scientists. They call it mycologist, right? Mycologist. So he studies mushrooms, and he has a whole line of mushroom capsules, tinctures, powders, and capsules of the different types of mushrooms. So I did put that in my Amazon store just so you can have it quick access to it if there's anything there that you would like to get yourself. So, and you can reach my Amazon store by just going to good-vibes.tv. Everything's there. Or you could just go to leslieklein.com. Both of them have my, uh, you know, link tree, my list of things, of offerings, basically. So, please, go to that website. Tell me what you think. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. So, the next episode of Good Vibes TV drops this noon, June 25th, and it's an interesting episode with Nefertiti San Miguel. She's an Ikebanist, and Ikebana is a Japanese art of flower arranging. So it's very specific philosophy behind it. And in this episode, you'll Nefertiti is such a cool lady. You'll just love it. So you'll have to wait, but you can actually go to the YouTube site and click to notify me when it comes on. But it'll be made available this Sunday at noon. All right. So, any comments about anything I've shared with today? I appreciate any feedback. So please comment if you feel like it, and feel free to comment during the replay as well. All right, my friends. Oh, actually, I forgot to do this. I forgot to show you I meant to share this with you while I was talking about our fantastic fungi, and I have a little clip from the movie. So here, let me share this with you now. Here you go.
My mission is to discover the language of nature, and I believe nature is intelligent.
There is a world under the earth, full of magic and mystery. It holds the consciousness of nature's connection to all living things.
You know, these mushrooms, they can heal you, they can feed you, they can kill you.
It's not like a vegetable, and it's not like an animal, but it's somewhere in between.
They support life, they convert life.
As you're walking, there's about 300 miles of fungi under every footstep that you take, and that's all over the world.
The bulk of the organism is growing underground, and it's composed of these long threads called a mycelium.
Almost everyone knows about the computer internet. The mycelium shares the same network design.
It's amazing what we don't know about mushrooms. They really are a frontier of knowledge.
You can filter water. You can create medicinal compounds almost on demand.
They have incredible capacity to make things change very quickly. So I am super hopeful.
The psychedelic members of the mushroom kingdom are fascinating.
I have been a guide for around 350 psilocybin sessions.
The most glorious part was that it made me feel more comfortable with living because you're not afraid of dying.
We need to have a paradigm shift in our consciousness. What will it take to achieve that?
We can heal the planet. We can build the future. And our world is fantastic.
There you go. All right. So, my friends, thank you for watching our live stream today, Good Vibes Lifestyle. I hope you learned something new. And, you know, watch our shows on Good Vibes TV on our YouTube channel. Take inspired action, learn about mushrooms, and live the Good Vibes lifestyle. So thank you for watching. And remember, raise your vibe so you can thrive. Peace out, everyone.